Let's go!
Aha, there you are. Chat, you weren't lying. You actually weren't lying. So, introducing Giovanna. Right, we already definitely checked her out. Spirit Wolf Companion, beautiful. Her unique sense of professionalism, beautiful. She dislikes the smell of cigarettes and alcohol. That's a lot of lore right there. That is a handy amount of lore. And did you notice about her brief hint in her announcement trailer, she looks different here. As of now, this feature is not something that alters her control or how she fights. To be clear, she is not a mode change style character. For new players, this grants a benefit even if they don't use her tension gauge. For veteran players, this opens up a unique opportunity for strategy concerning how to use meter exclusively to Giovanna. What? Interesting. Interesting. Let's take a look at her capabilities. Incredible rushdown that can break down any defense. I like this character. A super powerful special forces officer for the president. Okay, that's lore. She specializes in close range combat, can claim victory by closing in with her fast movement and locking the opponent down with her powerful offense. On the other hand, her short range can make it difficult to get in. Try using special moves that launch Giovanna forward towards the opponent. Her control feels natural, making her a good choice for players new to fighting games. These characters are always usually good, chat, right? In all honesty, the characters that they usually make, like, accessible, right? We like, oh, we need some players, we need some characters for new players, right? Just in general. They always end up being good, like, no matter what. Just because they end up being more focused than other characters. She has a truly unique mechanic which increases her damage output as her tension gauge fills. Interesting. So about Nago. Although his attacks deal great damage and have good range, he can't dash or double jump. Try using his super jumps. Wow, this guy is literally a buff samurai Potemkin. Try using super jumps or his fast movement. Special move, fuck you, to approach the opponent. That's good, I like this move. One of his main unique features is his ability to use one special move after the other. Well, he's more Hakumen, yeah. This allows him to launch an incredibly strong offense each time he uses a special move. However, he begins to thirst for blood, meaning the blood gauge fills up. The gauge filling up grants some benefits, such as increasing range in some of his normals. However, when it reaches max, Nago goes berserk and forcibly switches into a blood rage state. The animation as he enters this state leaves Nago vulnerable to a painful counterattack from the opponent. So if you do too many, like, special to special cancels and stuff like that. Okay. Landing his command grab special move, Blood Sucking Universe, causes the gauge to continually decrease for a set amount of time. This means you can keep your offense for longer than usual. Weird character, right? Kind of a weird character. He's got some chores on him, which is what I like. During the Blood Rage state, Nago can't use special moves and take damage, and takes damage. On the other hand, his normal moves range improves greatly. And he gains access to exclusive overdrive. Wait. So there's a reason that you'd want to go Blood Rage, right? There's a reason you would want that to happen, to get better normals. Okay. During the livestream in October, the pro gamer Goichi played Nago. He pulled off truly impressive moves despite only having 2 days to practice. Be sure to check it out if you haven't already. 2 days to practice? What is this, some fighting game luxury island? Shit, 2 days to practice, my god. We're working to have Giovanna and Nago playable in the arcade version, pre-release test for Japan only, and pre-release playable demo for consoles planned for early 2021. Shit, dude! The amount of time we had to learn how to play Guilty Gear Strive when we were recording footage was approximately 15 minutes. Shared with other people. Here's some big Q&A. Has the ranked match system really been removed? There's no ranked match mode. That function is now fulfilled by online lobbies. There are separate lobbies, one with multiple levels that have restrictions based on player skill level, and one with no restrictions that anyone can enter. Our goal with the previous ranked match system were as follows. Players match with different players depending on their skill level. Players can practice in training mode while waiting. Players feel motivated to improve because they get evaluated based on their skills and match results. These goals will be met by the online lobby. Our reason behind including it in another mode is that we want to avoid the player base being split between different modes. By doing it this way, the players will congregate in one mode, making it easier for everyone to enjoy matches with players close to their skill level. Okay, I appreciate them trying to tackle something that's kind of an issue with anime games, and that you divide the community, right? You got to keep them, you got to keep your matchmaking actually populated. With previous titles, there was a tendency for players to gravitate towards modes that didn't impact their ranking until they improved at the game. Well, the reason that was because Guilty Gear's ranked matching was terrible. It was actually awful. We want players who pick up Strive to be able to enjoy playing matches online, so we prepared features that make it possible for everyone to enjoy matches with players close to their skill level. Our concepts for Strive is to make a game that is fun to play, whether you got deeply into it or not, both online and off, while the game has mechanics worth delving into, such as deep techniques and mechanics intended for advanced players. Jesus! Having a matching system that pairs players appropriately means that players of all skill levels can learn how fun fighting games can be. Oh, it's going to be such a wonderful experience, right? Until people start raw dogging you, and then you're like, oh Jesus, this is not what I was asking for. I have a question about the online matches in the new game. Will there be a ranking system similar to Strive? I think we just talked about this. There is a system that restricts the lobbies players can enter based on their skill level. While similar to the previous ranking system, there was a renewed version of the prior concept. As mentioned earlier, our goal is to provide a fun experience for a wide variety of players. Our goal is to solve the players avoiding matches due to being overly concerned with fluctuating of points and yada yada yada. Players can enjoy matches with others close to their skill level, creating a situation where they don't lose anything even if they don't win a match, and can avoid matching with players at a different level. It's like we didn't know how to do like a ranked mode without making people feel bad, so we just didn't. We're just not. This is really going to depend on how good this is when it comes out. You know what also stemmed from this? Like, everyone that played these games ultimately boils down to player matches. Because the ranked matchmaking in all Arc System Works games is not good. Like, it doesn't pair you up with people of your skill, right? It doesn't pair you up with people of your color type, right? The pink and the orange and the blues and all that weird shit. Like, in all their games, it always had a problem. Like, the matchmaking itself always had a problem. So now it just seems that we're just going to get rid of that. We felt the previous systems didn't accomplish this, so we felt it was necessary to attempt something new, such as merging the modes. We've also included systems other than points, so that your floor placement is determined not only by the results of your matches, but by the contents of the matches as well. So this is that weird sort of like arbitrary, you know, system that they're going to judge your skill level, but it's going to be hidden, and you're not going to know what changes your skill ranking, right? Because there is a ranking system. It's just that it's not on the surface level. You don't see it. That's what I'm getting out of this, at least. In the console version of XHard, player rankings were only affected by ranked matches. What are the plans for this system in Strive? Personally, I'd be happy if there was an option for long sets rather than only best of 3. What impact would your ranking? We don't currently have plans for long sets that impact your ranking, your rating. I also enjoy the system personally, but having rankings impacted by repeated matches between the same players could potentially disrupt the balance of the ranking system. However, we have plans for a point and a ranking system separate from matchmaking that allows players across the world to compete with one another. We'll share more information on a later date. Wait a minute, so they are doing something? Weird. This feels like almost like conflicting information in many ways. In the previous game, I felt there was an issue where too many players reached the highest rank, and those players would stop playing ranked matches. Do you have any thoughts on this? Thanks for your time. Damn, these are all very much related to the online, but that's good. In Strive, there is a special floor only for players who truly are top class skilled. This floor has a special system where players lose the right to enter unless they maintain a certain record within the determined time period. We've designed it so that players can feel proud if they manage to reach and maintain their position at the top level. They just got to, yeah, there's a skill rating decay. There most likely will be a visual indicator, right, of what floor you're on. And that's how people are going to judge each other, right? You're going to be judged by what floor you are on. What are the plans to ensure people can match and rematch as quickly as possible after booting up the game? This is good. It is possible to wait for a match in training mode under certain conditions, going from the main menu without having to enter the lobby. After the match, players will return to training mode without a loading screen, making it possible to begin searching for the next opponent quickly. This means that players who want to get in as many matches as possible, as well as those who don't enjoy moving around the lobbies, can use the feature to play stress-free. Good! That's good. So you could only matchmake from training mode if you don't want to do the lobby stuff. I mean, that's good. That's some like normal, that's some very like normal fighting game functionality stuff, but is also something that hasn't been done very much in Arc System Works, where you don't have to go into like the lobby and do the lobby things, right? mean, Dragon Ball essentially has that. You can go into training and then, but you still have to go into the lobby and training. And, yeah, you know what I mean. At least they're getting rid of that. I'm curious about the lobby system. XArt's lobbies, as well as those in ASW games, had a miniature arcade cabinets and battle kiosks. Players separated areas allowed them to identify whether or not the match is going on. However, Strive's lobby moved away from the kiosks and allowed players to begin matches wherever they wanted. This has unfortunately resulted in large crowds forming in a single area, where the point where no one can tell who matched up with who during the closed beta. Yes. May I ask, what was the idea behind allowing players to freely match up anywhere? It's like the lobby they put into the game. We already have issues, right, with Arc System Works lobbies in general. Jesus, dude, it's like they took the things that at least were charming and functioning in those lobbies, and then they just flipped it on its head. Let's see what he has to say. We had the idea of letting players match freely by coming into contact with other battle-ready players without using something like an arcade cabinet, even while making prior games. However, as I'm sure you know, during the closed test, this caused many issues, and it was difficult to initiate matches as a result. We'd like to apologize for this. We reworked the system after the closed beta test, and currently battle-ready players move to a fixed position in the area. You'll be able to see how this works during the next beta. Okay, so instead of... The lobby isn't changing, right? You're still going to get Habbo Hotel Guilty Gear, but it's going to shove everyone to like a ring area similar to Dragon Ball, where if you want to fight in this zone, it'll just shoot you over to the zone. We know that Strive will still have crossplay between PS4 and PS5, but we don't know whether the PC will join in to create a unified player base. Members of Arc System Works have stated that they want crossplay to become a standard going forward, so what is Team Red's feeling and situation on PC/PlayStation crossplay? Ooh, this is a great question. We got a lot of requests for players regarding implementation of crossplay between PC and console. However, there are many problems that need to be overcome before it can be added to the game. At this time, we decided not to implement crossplay on release. We are, however, looking into implementing it in the future. I hope you can support the game as we work towards crossplay implementation. Dope, right? Them just acknowledging it is a really good thing. That's a fantastic thing, them just being like, hey, we're working on rollback netcode, and this is very alien to us right now. We do not... We're figuring it out as we go, and I'd imagine crossplay on top of all that would most likely delay the game like another several months, and they're like, okay, so we can't do that. The fact that they're even able to address this question leaves it to my understanding that this isn't an issue that PlayStation wants some exclusivity of, as far as like matchmaking on their system alone. This is just probably a thing that they didn't have time for, right? We just don't have the allocated budget right now to take care of it. So most likely, if Guilty Gear Strive does well, right, if it does okay, and they have some time to spend outside of just doing characters and DLC, then there's a pretty good chance it'll get crossplay in the future, right? Pretty damn good chance that that'll happen. There's some good news here, right? This is actually a very, very, very good developer backyard because it goes over all the online functionality of the game and a little bit of, you know, how Nago and Giovanna actually play. I think there's actually a lot of good information here. The only thing that I wish we, you know, definitely changed in the game was the weird-ass looking lobbies. That appears to not be going away, right? Someone's insane vision of the way lobbies work in this game is not going away, but the good news is that they have gotten the memo that we don't want to all do this lobby system. Let us just play our matches from, like, training mode or some shit like that. And that appears to be the case. So this is all extremely good news. In terms of the online, the only thing that I'm worried about with the online is the actual quality of the rollback netcode. It's pretty clear that it's possible, you know, especially with practically fan mods that were put into Guilty Gear XX Accent Core Plus R. It's going to be hard to say with a different engine, different game, different developers, how this is going to work out, you know. Either way, I think it's fantastic news, and I think whatever the next beta is for this game is going to be very telling, because a lot of this shit will most likely be there, but that beta probably won't be until like January or some shit, you know.